at 11 in the morning so that we can catch different people. Talking Shop is our monthly retail committee meeting, retail group meeting, and that involves, well, we've invited members, non-members, anybody who's interested in retail. Our Power Biz hours have continued as well. We have continued to do some of those. Our ambassadors still continue to meet every month. We have missed only one open door, which is our, in effect, new member meetings. And State of the City, which is one of the most well-attended ever. And that's was part of our breakfast series. Our Business After Hours, we only missed March, and we've converted from in-person to fun Zoom meetings. And Ben has managed to send us all into separate chat rooms in the Zoom, and they've been really fun. And actually, it's been really nice to be able to talk with people, fewer people in a one-on-one, almost one-on-one environment. So that's been a lot of fun. Chamber Chat Live is we started that in April, and we started that because we really wanted to allow people to have access to those whom they might not be able to speak to on a regular basis and talk about really timely topics and have interactive discussions. So that's been going great guns. We have paused our public policy forums, our fundraisers. We did have Street Life, we did have the holiday fundraiser, and we have rescheduled the golf tournament. So we have been, we've continued to provide most of our programming, albeit in a very different manner. So I want to move on to our staff and thank our staff. Ben Van Camp is our Vice President of What's Next and Membership. Jen Stevens is our Digital Engagement and Event Specialist, and I will tell you that they have been our rock stars. So all of the information that's been coming in to the Chamber, to me, has just been turned around and funneled back out through Ben and Jen, and they have been doing an amazing job, and I'll talk a little bit more about what they've been doing in a few more slides, but I can tell you that they are absolute rock stars. Judy Davidson is our business manager. She's been in this building with me every Tuesday and Friday taking care of the books. She's just been fabulous in continuing so that we have continued on and we've been able to manage our finances. So she's been great. We did have to furlough 3 people, and Michelle Davis is a destination experience consultant, and she's doing marketing, and she had been furloughed and she's coming back, and we're so excited now that tourism is opening back up again. Michelle is coming back and has hit the ground running. So we're so fortunate to have her here. Unfortunately, as I've looked at what our ability is to generate sponsorship income and event income over the next year, I realized that we could not staff at the same level that we have been at. And unfortunately had to make the decision that we needed to not bring back 2 folks, and that's Bill McDonald and Cecilia Smith. So, a devastating loss really to us. Bill has been our sponsorship person, our sales person, our membership person, responsible for 1/3 of our income. But if you look at what our opportunities for income are right now, we don't have those opportunities, so those same opportunities. So, and Cecilia has been our tourism director. She's been a professional. She's really added a lot of experience and knowledge to our staff, and it was a difficult decision. But kudos to them. They were important members of our staff, and it's only because of COVID that we can't bring them back. So that's a huge loss. But I cannot tell you how proud I am and how our team of now 4 plus me, our team has just been working hard on this. So, and I know all of you have had a lot of that experience where your staff has really had to step up, and I have to say that our staff has as well. So kudos to all of them. I also want to thank our board of directors. We've had our chair, Lisa Genke from TD Bank, our vice chair, Mike Fisher from Great Bay Community College at the beginning of the year and York Community College at the end of the year, our treasurer, Dan Innes from UNH, our immediate past chair, John Crisp from First Seacoast Bank, our past chair, John Akar from Cava Tapas and Wine Bar, Keith Bamford from Daystar, Monty Bohannon from the Music Hall, Caitlin Burke from Bluelos Real Estate, Wendy Clement from Kennedy Gallery and Framing, Jeanette Desmond from Kilwins, Lindsay Donahue from Keena McDonald, Russ Grazier from PMAC, Debbie Moore from Cambridge Trust Bank, Josh Morris from Portsmouth Regional Hospital, Michelle Nadeau from Wheelabrator, Ron Rockman from the Coleman Property Group, and Eric Stinson from Stinson and Associates. I really appreciate all that our board has done over the last year. So thank you very much for your time, your commitment, and my goodness, smart people sitting around the table. So thank you so much. Moving on to some of the things that we've done this year. We welcomed 67 new members to the chamber this year. So great to have 67 new folks back on with us. And as far as events, let's just talk about that. So much like the Portsmouth Love Wall out at Prescott Park, it looked like events would get locked in place once the governor announced his stay-at-home order in March, but we did not let that get us down. So moving on to our morning mixers became even bigger events themselves. Here's some of our fun folks. Some grew to prefer the new virtual format, but we're still drawn, as Jen says, to those who provide the best coffee. And we launched Collateral Radio this year. Ben and Jen took topics ranging from mental health to the arts and servicing of Mac computers to the local airwaves, and it was always good fun listening to them. We also added a new Seacoast Strong Business Forum, which is a Facebook group that we formed in collaboration with Anne from Richardson Marketing and the Seacoast Chamber Alliance. We also, as Jen says, the physical parameters of this spring allowed us to stretch virtually. We enjoyed taking a sojourn with the Gundalo Company when they visited Lowell's Boat Shop in Amesbury. You can see that right there. And to building the Seacoast Chamber-wide Facebook group. Most importantly, Jen says, we love seeing the smiles of those we know and love from the chamber in all these Zoom meetings. And there you see Stanford Cross from Bangor Savings Bank at a golf committee meeting, pre-COVID, obviously, trying to keep that group under control. They get a little rowdy, that group. So good job, Stanford. Next, we did have Street Life. What a celebration we had in downtown, celebrating all the investment in our downtown, starting with our VIP party over in the new space over at L's that the Labrie brothers are converting, and then with a New Orleans style band marching through the arch on Chestnut Street to our Street Life celebration on Chestnut and inside the music hall. And what a great fun party that was. So thank you for all involved in that. Boy, that took a lot of work and effort, a lot of collaborating, and we were lucky that it was such a perfect night out. So hopefully we'll be back to our Street Life, probably not in 21, maybe totally reimagined, but certainly in 22, because we all look forward to those days. Our golf tournament, the 36th Annual Chamber Classic, was scheduled for, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. That has been rescheduled to October. So we still hope to get everybody out there on the golf courses and have that event and fundraiser in October. We did have a reimagined, even before COVID was a reimagining everything. We had our annual holiday fundraiser. And we gave back to one of our nonprofit members, and we raffled away $10,000. And there you can see the happy winner, Chris Moulton from the AC Hotel, won that $10,000, which, by the way, I believe he gave away most of that philanthropically. Thank you, Chris. And so we're hoping that we can do our holiday fundraiser again this year. So connect and collaborate. There you can see Susan Gold standing up in the middle of those tables over there. She's our rock star that has a 23-member group that meets every single Friday morning. There are so many more people interested in the Connect and Collaborate that she's looking to start up a new group. So Connect and Collaborate is limited to one person from each industry segment, and they meet every Friday. We also started the Economic Outlook back up again. We haven't done that in a couple of years. We met at the Seacoast Rep, Jeff Feingold from the New Hampshire Business Review, Will Arvello from the BEA came and spoke with us about their insight into our economic outlook. I suspect none of which is relevant right now for the next few months. And Jay McSherry and Dan Innes also spoke with us about operating business in that environment, and I think it would be a whole new discussion in this new environment. We had no idea what was coming in front of us, did we? Public policy forums. We did meet in October. We had 2 separate meetings with our 21 candidates for Portsmouth City Council over 2 dates in October at Strawberry Bank Museum. And we also invited every single one of the, I don't even know how many, 100 presidential candidates to come and talk with our business community. And some of them took us up on it. We met with Andrew Yang, Governor William Weld, Congressman John Delaney, and Senator Chris Coons, who's pictured there, met with a small group of us. He was representing Vice President Biden, and what an intelligent man. We had a really good conversation with him. So it's been great to get to know some of these folks, and glad we had the chance to invite them to our community. So one of the great initiatives that Ben has been leading, and Ben, are we going to be able to hear that, I wonder?
No, it's just going to be visual.
Okay, it's just going to be visual. So first of all, we'd like to thank Tom Perrin, owner of Mambo, who, as many of you know, we lost this month. Tom was always quick to volunteer his time with the Portsmouth High School students, as you may have just caught in this video. Ben and Courtney Richings, the CTA director at Portsmouth High School, succeeded in securing a $10,000 grant to expand the relationship between the business community and the CTE program. And that's what you see going on here. Some of our restaurant owners and chefs worked with the culinary program at the high school to produce a 3-course meal and then served it to many of us. So what an enriching experience. As you can see there, Julie Cutting from Cure, she was having a ball, as were all of our chefs and business owners, and the students really got a lot out of it and appreciated that time. So Ben will continue working on that with Courtney in the upcoming year, and that's how we get our workforce right there. We did do the Tourism Summit on Workforce just in February before everything had changed. And every year, Professor Dawn Camuto from the Hospitality Tourism teaches she's the Dean of the Hospitality Program at Great Bay Community College, brings her hospitality class, and there you have her class that attended this summit. It was held at Atlantic Grill, and I have to say that Monty Mohannan from the Music Hall emceed it and brought in some technology that was just whiz-bang. It was awesome. People loved it. It was the best ever tourism summit we've had. So, and Cecilia had a lot to do with that, and I have to give her kudos for that, as well as Michelle. So hopefully we'll be able to do that again next February. Destination marketing. So we're starting to ramp up for that. And going to the next slide, Ben, just talking about the collateral that we produce. So thank you. We have the official map, the harbor guide, the brewery map. All the collateral is distributed at the Chamber Visitor Center, at the Market Square Kiosk, at the Discover Portsmouth Center, throughout Portsmouth and through the Seacoast communities. Digital copies are also available on our website at goportsmouthnh.com. The harbor guide is racked in our closest rest areas, some of which will be opening up shortly. Hooksett has been open to a limited degree, but the ones like Salem and some of the others around us will be opening up within the next couple of weeks, and we will have our new harbor guides racked there. Maps are also racked from Boston through the North Shore to the coast of Maine and around the seacoast. This is last year's map, which we will continue to use through this summer. We have the inventory available to do that, and we did not feel that we could go out on sales calls while our hospitality businesses have been in such a critical position. So this map will last us through this summer and into the fall. Our newsletter, a consumer e-newsletter, which is shown there on the right-hand side, goes out to 15,293 subscribers, friends of Portsmouth, every month. So, and I know that Michelle is always looking for information to put in that newsletter, things to do, things to, where to stay, all of that information. So always send your information to Michelle so she can gather it for the newsletters that go out about the first of the month every month. We grew that by about 3,000 names over the last year. Thanks, Ben. Social media, you know, that's the thing right now, right? What would we do without the internet and our social media right now? So Facebook has seen an 8% increase to over 6,000 followers over last year at this time. And Instagram is up by 23% with over 4,300 followers. That was as of the other day. I'm sure that that's up a little bit by now. So social media and I don't have the Twitter information in here, but I know that Jen is a social media guru, and she's constantly on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter sharing all of our chamber information. So the next slide shows our goportsmouthnh.com landing page, our website that's outward facing to our visitors, as opposed to the portsmouthcollaborative.org website, which is inward facing to our business community. So if we look at the next slide, then what we see is that, and I'm not going to go through all of these numbers, but visitors to goportsmouthnh.com website most often click on the go and do, then go explore, go eat and drink, getting here, the calendar, and go stay. And as you might be able to see from the September through January, we maxed out our $10,000 a month Google ad grant, thanks to Centris Digital's SEO management. In April, you can see when the COVID-19 virus was settling in, we went below 1,000 clicks for the first time that we've been using that grant since it started up. May saw an increase as we prepared to reopen our businesses, and June is on track to surpass May. Pay attention to that bottom left graph, if you would please, how our site sessions trending. Those spikes that you see from last year are the March Restaurant Week and the November Restaurant Week. And this is a good depiction of the double whammy of not having our Spring Restaurant Week and the COVID virus right there, you can see. So very evident on our website. So our visitor center is closed for right now while we reinvent the visitor center. We'll be putting up some plexiglass and hand sanitizer. We will require masks to come in. We'll only bring in each group, family group at a time, if you will. Brochures will be accessed only by our staff members. So we're hoping to be open before the 4th of July weekend. We will not be open on the weekends for right now. The staff, our visitor assistants that staff the weekends are not only over 60, but over 70 for the most part. So we can't bring them back in the near term. We do have some Granite State ambassadors that will be helping us out, and they will help us as we get open for limited hours. Caitlin Burke on our board and from the Bluelos Company has been helping us to rent out our fabulous rental offices. This is one of them that is rented. Suites B and C are rented. Suite A was a double suite, and that's going to be separated into 2 units, and I think that we'll have both of those rented as well very soon, which will give us a little bit of additional revenue. So that office right there is like the best office in the building. It looks straight out onto the pond and onto our deck. So the Market Square Kiosk is also staffed by our paid visitor assistants, most of whom are, as I said, over 70, some over 80. So we have not yet figured out a safe way to bring our visitor assistants back to the kiosk, but we are going to put additional weatherproof brochure racks out there. So the harbor guide, the official map, and for as long as they outlast our brewery maps, will be out there so that we are providing people with the most information for most of our members. You can see the top of the kiosk. We've changed out the signs in collaboration with the city. So it says visitor information that's much more legible as you're walking through Market Square. And our website is up there, so folks, when they can't get the brochure information, can go to our website. So I also want to talk about, when we're talking about tourism, let's talk about one great thing that happened this year, which was that Monty Bohannon and Jack Blaylock were interviewed for Ask a Local by Brand USA. Brand USA is the destination marketing organization for the United States with the mission of increasing incremental international visitation and spend. So using a documentary-styled approach, they shared amazing travel experiences through the voices and faces of US residents. And we got a few of our local people's voices and faces included. They highlighted local attractions, the food, the nightlife, music, scenery. And this video is going to be used for international marketing, featured on some of their high-traffic platforms, including their consumer site, corporate site, YouTube channel, with the potential of additional exposure on our social media channels, on their social media channels, Go USA TV channel, and more. So that, and that's a continuous, once they have these videos canned, they use them all the time and they put them into new markets as they open up new markets. So the Governor's Conference on Tourism and the Discover New England Summit were both canceled this year. So we're going to be looking forward to 2021 to share information with our colleagues around the state and to invite our international visitors back. As you can imagine, that will be a slow start on that one. So travel shows, we did get two of our 3 travel shows in before COVID hit. We have been collaborating with the Hampton Chamber of Commerce, the Hampton Area Chamber of Commerce. And so Cecilia, Michelle, and Colleen from Hampton attended the New York City Travel Show, where we had 35,000 travelers and industry professionals this year. It was a successful trip. We talked with many, many, many people. The 2021 show has already been canceled, so now we're looking forward to 2022 for that one. The AAA Travel Show in Foxborough, we did also attend. If you wouldn't mind, next slide, please, Ben. In early March, just sliding in before COVID hit. And so by the time the MGM show in Springfield, Mass we were supposed to attend in May, that one was canceled. So 2 out of 3 we caught this year. Not sure what's going to happen for 21. We might be looking at 2022. And I have already mentioned that we had to cancel Spring Restaurant Week, which of course is devastating for our culinary community and certainly for all of us who look forward to that twice a year. There were 46 restaurants that had signed up to participate in the Spring Restaurant Week. We are going to try, we have not decided whether or not we will do a Fall Restaurant Week. We'll see what that looks like. So it's not off the table. And hit the decks. You know, there's an awful lot of decks that are out there now. We now have 70 restaurants that are permitted for either outdoor dining or indoor dining or a combination of both. So with luck, with New England weather shining upon us this summer, we're hopeful that we can do some form of a hit the decks celebration. Looking ahead, so our marketing will emphasize staycations on the seacoast, emphasis on itineraries that take us around New Hampshire, and we're also working with colleagues around New England to work on itineraries that bring people all around New England and a staycation in our regional area. We expect that regional travel will certainly increase. International travel will decrease, so we're going to rely on dreaming and planning marketing for right now, not only for our domestic market, but also certainly long-term for our international market, so that they are inspired for when they return to the USA. So I mentioned that we have 70 restaurants that are opening. We know more than 30 retail shops that are also open. In one way or another, either curbside pickup, or you can come into the shop with masks and being careful, one-way paths in many of our shops, all trying to keep staff and our visitors safe. We know that some of the attractions are currently open at 50%, Portsmouth Harbor Cruises, the Isles of Shoals Steamship Company, and the Gundalo. We've just heard this morning that the music hall will be opening in limited capacity. They're waiting for guidance, but we're pretty excited that the music hall will be opening as well. And we did hear from Commissioner Caswell the other morning that they're talking with the folks in Quebec when looking forward to when that border reopens. While Canada obviously is, you can call it the international market, we consider them our neighbors and friends, so we're hoping that we will see the return of our Canadian friends sooner rather than later. So I want to talk with you about the COVID-19 response. And as I mentioned earlier, Jen and Ben have just been the rock stars of getting this information out and in social and putting it up on our website and keeping it up to date. So we've been communicating daily through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and weekly through the source. We have been, the information that we've been putting out there is all about funding, payroll, the PPP plan, the small business debt relief, EIDL, the counseling and training opportunities, Main Street Relief Fund, the Nonprofit Relief Fund, and of course the Seco Strong Business Forum. And if we go to the next slide, we can see this is what on the website, what Ben in particular has been doing is just putting up here all of the information on the webinars through SBA, SBDC, the BIA, anybody who's got a webinar that's been COVID related, we've been telling people about through social, and then we've been putting up the links to it here on our COVID-19 section of the website. Chamber Chat Live, we talked about, is every Friday with timely topics and informative guests. This tomorrow on Juneteenth, we have Chief Murner to talk about policing policies and what, if anything, will change in Portsmouth, what he sees as the trends, and how he's been collaborating with our community, particularly 2 weekends ago when we had three protests in 3 days for Black Lives Matter. We're also going to have Joanna Kelly, who was an organizer of the Sunday protest, the Black Lives Matter protest, that drew over 4,000 people, and the collaboration between the police department and Joe ensured a safe and peaceful protest. It's also Juneteenth, which is a celebration for the Black community, and the Black Heritage Trail folks are doing an event that will be live streamed. It's not a live event that people can attend, but it is a live streamed event, and we will be at the end of our Chamber Chat Live tomorrow, tapping into that live stream so that you can see some of that. We've also been sharing all the information on business when they're open, when they're closed, pickup, delivery, and you can see, you should check out portsmouthcollaborative.org and take a look at all of those resources. And if we go to the next slide, we can also see how Michelle has represented those that are open, all of our restaurants that are open for takeout or delivery, or everybody that's being open. We have one database that feeds both of our websites, and so this is the presentation that Michelle has whipped up for that, the visitor-facing site. And finance and funding, well, right now we're in a decent cash position. We've moved some receivables off to bad debt. We have negotiated deferment of some of our payables. Our total income so far, as of at the end of May, is down by 12%, mostly due to the fact that we haven't done many sales, we haven't sold our publications, and we are down by one event. But our total expenses are also down, offsetting that by 17%, and that has a lot to do with the production costs of the collateral and the events. As you may have heard, the Chamber has not been eligible for pretty much any of the funding because we are 501c6s. Trade organizations, and so we've not been eligible for PPP. We have received a small grant from the EIDL, and we are looking at accepting a loan from EIDL, which will help us to get through. And some of you may have heard last Friday, the governor announced during his press conference that he has allocated $2 million to support the chambers in the state. So we'll find out what that means next Tuesday. As you all are doing, we're all trying to balance our needs and our finances, and we're all doing that balancing act that we weren't really planning on. So I know that we're all in that same boat. And so to that extent, I want to say that the staff and the Chamber Collaborative of Greater Portsmouth would like to thank every member for your investment in the work we do on your behalf. The many committee volunteers who work tirelessly to ensure our programming, not enough coffee yet, is successful, and the dedication and time and insight from our board of directors. We are so grateful for the stronger collaborations that we've developed with our local, regional, state, and New England community members, as together we've negotiated the paradigm shifts caused by the pandemic. And all we can say now is onward for all of us, and we will be here to support you. And I thank you so much for your time being here today. We can take questions. So Ben, thank you so much for driving the slideshow here, and Ben is going to moderate the questions. So if you have questions, if you throw them into the chat, if you can do that, and Ben will moderate the questions for us, and we'll answer as best we can. I see that there might be one question in there, or oh, that's
No questions so far.
Okay. Anybody? That's great. I answered all your questions right up front. That's awesome.
Nope, no questions.
Okay, great. Well, it's not closed. If you want to ask a question as we go forward here, then please do. Please send a chat over to Ben, and he'll alert us, and we'll take those questions. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Lisa, to talk about the election of officers. Thank you all.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Valerie. A lot of great information there. And one of the reasons I've always wanted to, I've been on this board, and I've been on this board multiple times now, is how involved this chamber is within this community. And I'll tell you, it's impressive. Couple of things to go forward and do now. We do have a proposed slate of new officers that will be voted in for fiscal year 2021, which starts July 1st. So first, I guess I want to just ask all of the members that are on with us this morning if there are any nominations. I'll take any nominations from the floor for our new chair, vice chair, and treasurer. All right, so I will give you the proposed slate. Dan Innes as chair, Monty Bohannon as vice chair, and John Crisp has agreed to come back in as treasurer. So if there's any questions on that, let me know. Silence is always killing, it always kills me. Otherwise, I will take a vote. I'll take a motion to vote in the three new officers.
Ron made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Yeah, I think I saw Jan first. And if we're going to vote with all of the membership, Lisa, I think we just need to have people raise their hands as to whether or not they want to approve the slate. This is sort of new territory for us, right? And so, Lisa, I think if you ask for a yes vote, all in favor, and raise hands, and then a nay vote or a refrain vote, and just have people raise their hands so we can see them.
Okay. All right, terrific. So I all in favor, please raise your hand.
Caitlin gave a thumbs up. I like that.
So for those of you who we cannot see, oh, Dan, thank you. Thumbs up from Dan. Debbie, Josh, Deb, Maria, Carrie, Belinda, Mark. Anybody who can do a thumbs up.
Oh,
There we go. We're getting some
I see
thumbs
some
up.
thumbs up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It is.
It's a crazy new world here, gang. All right. Okay, that's looking great.
Still seeing some thumbs up. Good. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not sure how to do the thumbs up, but thumbs up.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. So I guess we need nays then, if there's any nays.
Okay. Any thumbs down or nays?
Do we have a thumbs down button? I don't even know if we have a thumbs down button. If there's a nay, would you unmute and give us a nay, or maybe even an abstaining?
Not appear to be any nays.
Don't appear.
What did you say, Ben?
Doesn't appear to be any nays.
Okay, terrific. All right, perfect. So I just wanted to take a moment and talk a little bit about my past year as the chair on the board. It started out strong. I mean, I don't want to say that the chamber doesn't remain strong, but I think COVID sort of put everybody into a little bit of a tailspin. But the one thing that I want to, when I think about the chamber, is through COVID, how much of an important resource the Chamber Collaborative was for all of our business members. They started right out of the gate asking me as a banker, what's going to be available for lending? What do I know about SBA lending? That when it just first started, we were hearing little talks about it in the beginning, so that they could get as much information on their website to share with business members. So I appreciate that a lot. I've always said this was one of the most active chambers, and connecting our business customers, getting information to all of us, connecting this community that we live in, has been always the #1 priority. Driving tourism to the city, all those little shops along town, wouldn't survive without having people visiting our amazing city. I'm so proud to work and live in this community. I want to thank all of the board members I've sat with over this past year. All of your participation and your support. Thank you. And I guess that's it. I don't know what else to say as far as like being on a camera, but it has been a great year for me, a growing year. I think that that's one thing that I learned out of this is I can be a little bit stronger of a leader, I suppose, than I thought I could be. But thank you all. So my duty now is to pass the gavel over to Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there you go. And thank you for taking on the chair for fiscal year 2021. We're starting out in a little bit of a challenge, but I think that we're on the other side of it, hopefully, right? So I will pass it over to you, and I will stop talking.
Valerie, you have something?
Thank you, Lisa. Well, we do have one question, and I'd like to respond to it if that's all right with you, new chair.
Sure.
Thank you. So the question is, do I anticipate any more funding opportunities? And the answer is no. We have not been eligible for any funding other than the EIDL. We got a $7,000 grant from EIDL, and we now have the opportunity for a $150,000 loan. And other than whatever the governor is going to do and Commissioner Caswell is going to do with the $2 million that they've allocated to chambers, we don't see any other funding available.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Lisa, and thanks everybody for your support. I have to say, I did not see this coming a couple of weeks ago. I was I was preparing to be treasurer for another year, but circumstances brought us to this place. And it's a Chinese proverb, right? May you live in interesting times. What better time to become chair of a Chamber of Commerce? But I think it's an ideal time in the sense that the work that we do is going to be even more important than ever as we restart our economy and try to get things going again. And as Valerie noted in some of her remarks, we try to work to bring some of those international tourists back and sort of recharge our hospitality economy, which is a major part of the Portsmouth economy. So I'm looking forward to working with the board. It's a terrific board. I'm thankful to the other two folks who are going to serve as treasurer and vice chair this year. Samantha, you're up next as chair. We'll try to give you an organization that's in a good position. But I also want to thank Valerie for everything that she's done as we've moved through this COVID crisis. Her leadership has been tremendous. She's done a great job keeping everyone engaged with the chamber, done a lot of terrific events, and she and I have built a great working relationship over the last several months. And I really enjoy working with her and hearing her perspective and doing all that I can to help. And I guess that's where I'll close my remarks, just to say, you know, I'm here to help and to do the best job I can for the chamber and for its members and for our community and communities, and to get us all through this. And I'm confident that, you know, financially we'll be okay. We may hit some bumps in the road, but we do have some backstops that I think will help. We're really interested to hear what the state funds will look like and what the strings will be that come with those. My hope is that, you know, the state says, give us your membership list, tell us who you're reaching out to, tell us what you're doing, that'll count as your report, and here's your money. I don't know if it'll go that way or not, but we can hope for that. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to take those, but I look forward to working with all of you, and I do think we'll have a terrific year in 2021. And hopefully 2020 will begin to turn around as well. And I think it will. I think it will. So thank you. I'm humbled and honored to be the chair, and I'll give you my level best.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Well said.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you,
said.
Dan.
Well said. Ben is just sending me a note, and I will read it if that's okay, Mr. Chair.
Of course.
Hi, Ben. I do not have a question, but would like to express a sincere thanks from the City Council for all that you do and say. Onward is a great slogan for all of Portsmouth. Thank you, Councillor Huda. So thank you for being with us today, Councillor Huda, and for all the good work that the council is doing as well. So, and as a member of the Citizens Response Task Force, I can also say thank you for your support on Monday night to give the task force some leeway in being able to turn around quick decisions to get our downtown businesses open. Thank you for that. Ben, is that, Ben's driving the bus here. Ben, is that all the questions that we have there? Any comments?
Yep, that's about it. Just a few more comments coming in, but no additional questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, where'd Mr. Chair go? God, I lost him. He was at the top of my screen and now he's gone. Isn't that one of the things about the Zoom meetings that's kind of frustrating, is that you see people and then all of a sudden they move and they're gone and you can't find them again? Love these Zoom meetings and we get to see people, but now we've lost. Did we lost Dan? Oh,
Looks like Dan,
I think we may have lost him.
we did. He says, I've been booted. I'll be back. So, you know what, Monty, as the new vice chair, would you like to step in there? There's no pressure there, huh?
No, sure. What would you like me to do here?
Well, I think we're actually, if we have no questions or any other things that people want to discuss, I think we are actually
we're at the
wrapping up here.
All right. Well, then do we call for an adjournment?
I think
Motion to adjourn?
I think we do. Let me tell you.
We can all hang out and have virtual coffee afterward if you'd like, but I think we can officially seek a motion to adjourn the annual meeting.
So moved.
Who was that?
Second.
Becky? Becky and who?
John.
John, thank you, John Chris.
All in
And-
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I do want to express my gratitude for everyone on this board and the staff of the chamber. This is unprecedented times, and you've all navigated it really well and kept everybody informed and still promoted Portsmouth as a place to be and do business and really shone a light on the best of this community. So thanks.
Good luck, Monty. Don't screw up.
No pressure, Monty. Jumping right in there. So congratulations to Dan, Monty, and John for assuming the roles as officers. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. It's really great to see all your faces, even though you keep moving around on me. Thank you so much. And we will see you on another Zoom call and hopefully downtown as we're getting open downtown. So see you on the streets. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Valerie.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Bye.